Hey everyone, I'm Dylan Estes. I'm a content creator here in the Plaid Studio, and today I'm really excited to share a brand new product with you. We are talking all about the brand new FolkArt Murano, and when I say this is brand new, this is hot off the press. It is available on plaidonline.com. If you've ever shopped on our website, we've got that linked below, and you'll find everything there is to know about FolkArt Murano, and there's a lot to know. So we're going to be going through all of the paint. We have a lot of different finishes. You know, FolkArt, we pride ourselves on bringing you a lot of different cool formulas, and today we're going to be showing you several formulas in the FolkArt Murano Glass Paint line. We're going to talk to you about some tools, some new stamps and stencils. There's just a lot to go through, and it all stems from this great little product, which is FolkArt Murano Glass Paint. So there are a few glass products on the market. We make a few of them. If you know about our gallery glass, that is a great product that's been around for over 30 years. It's a wonderful product for making the faux stained glass look effect, but we wanted to take that a little bit further, make something a little bit more durable, and make something ultimately that you can use on jars and bottles and make it safe to go in the dishwasher and make it safe to go outside. So we've really opened up the world of glass crafting for you. If you aren't really interested in learning how to fuse glass and do hand-blown glass, those can be really cost heavy, and as well as take a lot of time to learn them. But these are great paints that you can learn techniques that emulate the look of real blown glass. One thing I'll show you here, this is one of our star projects. This is a picture that we've used our FolkArt Murano glass paint, and we've gotten this effect just by using a squirt bottle paint, and it is an incredible product. It's honestly one of the coolest products we've launched in a long time. I use a lot of our products, and this one is a great one to use. I stand behind it. It is a great product. We formulated it really well, and the color range is beautiful. We've put a lot of work into this over the past year, and we're really excited to bring it to you. The product team has worked really, really hard to bring you that really high quality that you expect when it comes to FolkArt acrylic paints. So this is a water-based, non-toxic acrylic paint. It comes in these 2-ounce bottles with a Writer tip, which is great for applying or detailing. And it comes in a ton of different colors and 4 different specialty finishes. So you'll see a range here. I did kind of just a rainbow grouping here. And if we want to switch to overhead, I can show you some of these bottles up close. So this is the beautiful FolkArt Murano glass paint. Now, believe it or not, this bottle started just like this. So you can find a lot of either upcycled bottles, or if you're on Amazon and you're looking for just plain clear vases, or if you're at the thrift store, there's a lot of clear glass to work with. And you can easily buy a bunch of these clear vases and turn them into these beautiful colored vases. And this is truly an amazing product. It's not sticky, it's super smooth, there's no bubbles in it, and it's really easy to do. You're gonna be really surprised when I show you how to apply this paint. It's gonna look a little crazy, it's gonna feel like you're doing something wrong, but the reality is you are gonna be making a beautiful, perfectly tinted colored jar, or whatever your project is with this FolkArt Murano. All the magic is built into the product. When you're applying it, you feel a little unsteady, like, are you sure this is gonna give me this perfect look? And it does. It's a great, great product, and it's really kind of fun to watch it happen. So we've got this beautiful transparent color. We've got a few other formulas that we'll get into a little later, but we have this beautiful iridescent shifting formula. We, of course, have metallics. We've got a gold and a silver. We've got some more of those shifting colors that are really, really pretty. And we've got some opaques. So let's go through the techniques that we usually do with FolkArt Murano. So we've got, let me set these vases aside. We have a lot of vases and projects over here on my side that you'll see us use our FolkArt Murano on. And we've kind of come up with a few different core techniques. So the first one is pouring and swirling. So if you're into fluid art, this is a great product for you because you can actually do this on functional glassware. So if you want to do the pouring look on, say, a stemless wine glass and make like a bachelorette trip gift, or if you're doing, you know, your friend's birthday present, or if you want to customize something to give to somebody as a gift, or if you just want a cool set of stemless wine glasses around your house, or stemmed, either way, we've got them both. You can do that with FolkArt Murano. So let's get a close-up of this guy. This is our transparent colors. These have been poured and swirled. So you can see those colors coming through. And it's actually a little hard to see in our studio lights, but I'm going to put my flashlight under it, and you can see how pretty that color is. Look at how pretty that is. So we've taken our yellow, our blue, and our green, and we've just swirled them around on our stemless wine glass, and we have actually been able to create this really, really cool organic look, and you just tape it off. We always recommend leaving a lip on glassware that's going to touch your mouth. You don't want your mouth to touch the paint. It is non-toxic. It's a great product to use on glassware, but you just don't want to put your lips right on that, anywhere you're going to actually come in contact with. So we usually leave about a 1-inch gap. But there's our transparent. This is our opaque. These are the black and white colors. So we have 2 opaque colors, a really nice solid black and a solid white. And that's the same technique. We've just taped off our stemless wine glass and poured and swirled our paints, allowed it to dry, and then this is the result. And then finally here we've got our metallics. So those are really, really pretty, super pigmented and really reflective. So you can see we have a gold and a silver, and they work great together, or if you're doing them separately. I'll show you a little bit later. We like to stencil with the gold. So it's a really, really kind of versatile color palette. Okay, so let me show while we're going through everything else. So you can also use this as a regular paint. You know, if you want to paint directly on a surface, you can with FolkArt Murano. So on this project, we've used the black and white. So we did do a rose floral with just the black and white on top of a pink. So this was originally a clear vase. We poured it with FolkArt Murano, swirled it around so that we coated the whole vase, and then we painted on top of it with those opaque colors. So you can use this as a traditional paint as well if you're doing that with glassware. You can use the transparent colors, all the colors you can use to actually do fine painting. Let's go overhead for this one. So this is a little bottle with our 2 iridescent colors. This is the iridescent white and the iridescent aqua, and we've used it just like a paint. So you can see you get a really cool lifelike greenery effect here on this bottle with that shifting iridescent color. So you can do that as well.
Dylan, I'm going to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're talking about the difference between, or you're showing the difference with the opaque and the transparent colors that we have. I know that we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but I'm sure some people are wondering what's the difference between this and gallery glass, which is another one of our products here at Plaid. That opaque and that transparent is one of the bigger differences there. You're not going to get that transparent design with gallery glass. There's some other things that make it different. We still love gallery glass. This is just another sort of technique using a different product.
Yeah, that's a great point. Gallery glass we love to use on windows still. It's great for clings, but ultimately it's removable. And when you're doing something like a wine glass or a vase, something that you're going to use, you want it to be durable, you want it to be waterproof, and that's what FolkArt Murano provides. So 2 great things, 2 separate products. Gallery glass is still the best product that we know of to create faux stained glass, and this is the best product to coat a glass in color or do some painting. This works really well with like our FolkArt enamels. We've kind of taken those to the next level in this line. So think of it that way, as kind of a decorative glass paint that you can use more indoor, outdoor, dishwasher safe, those kind of projects. So that's the differentiation between gallery glass and FolkArt Murano. So that's a really good point. If you're used to gallery glass, this might be a little confusing at first, but same great quality, different purpose.
Yeah, we're going to do a demonstration later so you can really see the difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let me show you through a few of the other formulas and techniques. So this is our basically striping. This is our technique called striping. And just I want to note that a lot of our techniques are based on either blown glass or fused glass or like a real Morano technique. So this is emulating a fused glass, and we've actually used our frost formula, which we'll talk about here in a second, with some of our transparent colors. So you see you get that really beautiful frosted glass effect just by pouring some stripes on here and swirling them around. Then we've got another vase here, or actually this is a liquor bottle, so that's kind of cool. This is, I believe, started as a tequila bottle, and we have taken it to the next level with our FolkArt Murano and just poured it right on top. And then you've got a really cool vase for flowers. Since you're putting the paint on the outside, you don't have to worry about the inside being waterproof. So you're able to use this as a functional vase. You can put this in the dishwasher when you're done with it and keep using it over and over again. So that's a really cool way to make a liquor bottle or a wine bottle look a little more upscale, look a little more artsy, and a little cooler. Then we've got our ombreing technique. So this is a really beautiful vase, and it's showing up really well on camera. We've taken 3 of our colors, and we have blended them together using our brand new glass brush set. So this is a great mop brush that we like to use for all of our glass crafting. So this is a perfect brush to do this kind of ombre technique because we've built these brushes to have super, super soft bristles to collect a bunch of paint and then really beautifully apply it on top of your glassware. So again, that's our ombre technique. And then this is to emulate fused glass. We looked at this a little bit earlier, but this is our pitcher, and this is my favorite project by far. And it is a clear base, so we used our crystal clear color, then we dropped in some of the brighter colors and then swirled it around. So what you're seeing is these little blobs of color are suspended in the clear color that we make, and it looks like fused glass. You know, when a glass blower wants to make a look like this, they'll basically do a clear piece and then they will stick colors of little bits of colored glass into the hot molten clear glass, and then when they melt it again, it'll all kind of fuse together. So we've been able to replicate that technique just using our clear and a few of the colors. So that's kind of the cool part about FolkArt Murano, is that you can do things that you can't do with other products. There's just no other product like this on the market. And the only way you could get this look otherwise is if you, A, hand painted each of these little spots, which would be kind of silly, or if you learned how to fuse glass, which would take a little bit of time, gets a little hot, and would be pretty expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so those are our core techniques. Now I want to talk to you about the actual formulas themselves. So we have the transparent. You've seen a lot of transparent colors. You've seen a few of the other ones, but I want to really dig into it. So I'm going to show you the bottles. What we did for our color palette, which is kind of cool, is we actually made one of every color on a recycled bottle. So every color I'm going to show you is on a recycled bottle, whether it be, you know, a food container or something we found at Goodwill, another thrift store. So that's kind of the cool aspect of this paint, is that you can really give something a new life, whether you're buying something new from the craft store or you're taking something off the shelf that you don't usually use and kind of giving it new life. It's a really, really cool product for that. So let's start with our opaque colors. So we do have that opaque black and opaque white. So those are great staples. And again, you can use those together. You can use them to do kind of some detail work and some painting. This is great for customization with names if you wanted to use that. Great colors, really accessible and really easy to use. And again, they are opaque, so they're the only 2 fully opaque colors in the line. Then we have our iridescent, which I showed a few earlier. We have a lot of different beautiful colors of iridescent. Okay, so overhead here you can kind of tell that this one is our iridescent black. Now this one is, all these iridescent colors have a shift. So these shift from, this particular color shifts from a dark black to a brassy gold. So you can kind of see in that changing light, you get that gold sheen on the highlights. Then this one is our iridescent purple. This is my favorite color out of the iridescents. This one is a really bright violet purple, and then it shifts to a really cool cobalty blue that you can see there in the highlights and shadows. And again, this works all exactly the same. We'll show you how the product goes on. All the colors, you do the exact same thing to get this look. The paint is what's giving you that really beautiful color. So it's a really simple technique. This is the iridescent emerald color. And this one's like a dark green base, and it has almost like kind of a gold yellow shift.
Dylan, we've got some people who are just joining us.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk just for a second briefly about, or I guess jump back to the beginning and
Sure.
mention where we're at, what we're talking about?
Yeah.
And I also wanted to share that Jessa pointed out that there's no streaks in what you're showing now.
Yeah, I mean, and this isn't fake. Like, I'm about to show you how this works. So maybe let's jump into our demo. Since we do have people joining us now, we'll stay overhead. And I want to talk to you about the great new product that we have, which is FolkArt Murano. So this is Murano Glass Paint. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to transform your clear glass, or any color glass really, and make it into this beautiful, rich, beautiful colored glass. So we have a lot of different colors. We have a rainbow assortment of colors, and we have several finishes. So we were just talking through some of our specialties, but let's go ahead and get started on our little step out here because I want you guys to see. Now there's a few things that you need to do a basic Murano pour. So you need your glass, and all you need to do to prep your glassware is make sure that you've wiped it off with a paper towel that has maybe some rubbing alcohol on it. You just want to get any dust or residue off of your glass. And then you'll see I brought this piece of black foam core. This can be any kind of soft surface. So if you have a jelly pad, or if you have a piece of foam, old cosplay foam, or anything that can kind of resist banging, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to apply your paint to your surface and then you're going to tap it on any kind of surface. You can tap it on a hard surface. It would just be loud and kind of obnoxious depending on where you're crafting, and you don't want to break your glass. So we recommend tapping here on a nice soft piece of foam core board, but you can do anything that you have. Okay, so let's get started. This is the transparent red color, and again, we're going to take this from a clear to a beautiful transparent red. So this is a great little writer tip on the top. It's ready to go right when you open your bottle, and I think people are going to be amazed at how simple this is. You're just going to apply your paint. And you'll get a feel for it as you go along. You want to be pretty generous, but obviously you don't want to tap off a bunch of excess paint. You want to make sure you're using your paint economically. I totally get that. And you're just applying your paint to your surface. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be in a certain order. Like, you can just do the whole thing at the same time. It stays wet long enough that you can continue to use it. Like if you are working on this spot and you want to come back here, you can do that. You can switch spots, and you just want to flood your vase or whatever you're using. You want to make sure that you can kind of hold on. So pick a part of your glassware that you can hold on to. If you're doing a wine glass, you can hold it by the lip. If you're doing a bottle, it's nice to have something, put your finger inside the opening of the bottle, and that's what I'm doing here.
Dylan, I got a question from a commenter.
Yeah.
Can it be used outside for lawn art?
Lawn art, yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is outdoor safe. So we always recommend that you keep stuff, if when we're saying it's outdoor, we mean that it is resistant to water and it would last, in the sunshine. Personally, I wouldn't put something like this that I've created straight up in my garden. I like to put stuff on my covered patio or on my porch so that if it did get a little bit wet, it wouldn't necessarily be ruined. And now, to be clear, this has been tested to be outdoor safe. So you can do this indoors, you can do it outdoors. It can be all kinds of decor. So yes, you can definitely use this outside. I just personally wouldn't put my artwork all the way outside, completely exposed to the elements, because things can happen.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to do that, we also make Mod Podge Outdoor, which
Yeah.
is UV resistant, that you could add a layer over that once your project's
Sure.
dried. One of the things we were talking about gallery glass earlier, I wanted to point out is that this bottle that Dylan's working on has a lot of texture to it.
Yeah.
And usually with gallery glass, we find that it works really well on flat, smooth surfaces.
Yeah, that's a
so
good
it would be
point.
hard to do a cling of a design on a surface like the one Dylan's using. This is working really well with that texture, and as you can see with the example above, there's still that texture showing through. You can still feel it. It's not just like one smooth coat of paint that's taking away all of that texture to the project.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, and gallery glass, you also have to comb. You have to kind of spread the pigments out. But since we've developed this so that you can do it directly on your surface, we've made it so that the pigment is really well suspended and you don't have to do any combing. You may see that, a bubble pops up here and there, but they're really easy to pop, and you don't really get many other bubbles. You don't want to shake this paint. We always recommend if your paint ever gets separated, you always want to roll paint bottles, but you don't want to shake them up and down because that'll introduce bubbles into the paint, and then you may have to pop some. That's not impossible, but it's just kind of annoying when you can avoid it. So you see, there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm literally just squeezing some paint onto my bottle. I'm just barely covering it. So let me show you up close. I'm just getting a good layer so you can't see any of the clear glass showing through, but I'm not flooding it. Like I'm not like, you know, dousing it in paint. There's just enough that it's holding on to the surface, and I'm going to show you how we even anything out. If you got some patches that are a little heavier than others, I'll show you how to even it out. And you see I'm kind of being haphazard. This is just rolling around on my workspace. Obviously protect your workspace if you don't have a little mat under you, but this is not, it's not being bothered at all, you know, whereas if you were painting something, you know, the paint would be rubbing off. I'm not worried about that because we're about to coat the paint onto the bottle by tapping it, so we're not going to worry about any imperfections. We're not going to worry about any edges that are touching. I'm not going to worry about my fingers touching it. It's going to look perfect. This does dry overnight, so you want to make sure, depending on where you are and what kind of humidity you have in your area, you definitely want to let this fully cure. We have curing instructions on the bottle. You can bake this product, so if you have crafted on glass before, you'll know that some enamels and other multi-surface paints you can actually put in the oven to cure them, and this is one of those. Okay, now here's the cool part. Well, not cool, but it helps finish your project. This is the tapping method. So you're just going to take your vase and you're going to tap it. So any inconsistency in the surface, you can see is gone. It's perfectly laying down right on my vase. You can see on the top, that's smooth glass, and look how beautifully that has leveled. You do not find that anywhere on the market right now. This is the only product that we know of that can do this, that can level out on a ridged piece of glassware, and once we let that dry, no tricks involved here, it will look just like this. A completely transparent, super smooth, not sticky, completely cured, beautiful red vase. That's all there is to it.
We've got a question here.
Yeah.
Could you do a color pour to get the inside of the bottle?
Say that again.
I think they mean, could you pour paint on the inside and swirl it around?
You
to get the
could,
inside?
yeah, you definitely could. However, you would not be able to, you know, submerge water in it. You know, like if you want to use this as a little bud vase, you want to do the paint on the outside because although it's water resistant, it would eventually come off if you were to just soak it all day, every day with, you know, some water and a flower in there. So generally, all the painting we do is on the outside. But like this piece, we wanted to paint on the outside, and we had already poured this one on the inside. So you can see it works totally fine if you pour it on the inside. We've done the exact same process that I just showed you, but we did the painting on the outside, and we did the Morano coating on the inside. So you can definitely do that. There's no problem to that. This is another project where we've used our Morano on the inside and the gold paint on the outside, just because this was, you know, a decorative little decanter.
And for those who are coming in late, I'm just wanting to say the name of the product one more time. This
Yeah.
is FolkArt Murano Glass Paint. Yeah, and if you want to show a bottle, I'll get a zoom shot of that.
Yeah, so we just made this vase, and if you've been on any kind of social media, you've probably seen lately that we have a lot of people doing tinted jars with Mod Podge, which is really cool and a great way to do it, but you have to buy the Mod Podge, you have to figure out what you're going to color the Mod Podge with, when really all you need is to pick whatever colors you want out of our FolkArt Murano line, which has a ton of different colors, and then you can make any color vase that you want. So whether you want a teal, you want a really beautiful blue, this is a really good example of an upcycled project. So this is one of those cool Jarritos sodas, Yarritos, I don't know. And they have great little soda bottles. Any clear soda bottle works. And we took our yellow, our beautiful yellow color, and it's so saturated, it's so punchy, and it saved this bottle from the trash. So now it's decor. So, you know, we're going into April, which Earth Day is in April. So everybody's always being really cautious and mindful of upcycling and reusing surfaces that you may not think of as a surface to craft on, especially when you're doing stuff like home decor, or if you're doing a wedding and you want to have some beautiful vases. You know, you can kind of play with the color palette too. Like if you want more of a home decor color palette, we have those colors. I'm showing you rainbows right now, but if you wanted to do a different color palette, we have the colors in the line. So let me show you some of the other colors. So it's kind of fun to play with once you do your vases. So let's say we're doing Valentine's Day just passed. So let's do a Valentine's Day theme centerpiece. So you take, you know, say you've got 10 vases that some you've had from your kitchen cabinets, some you've been collecting at Goodwill when you go, and you just want to pull a really pretty collection together. So let's do a few more colors here.
Right now, somebody asked, will there be sets available? Right now, we have open stock on our website, which is linked below, whether you're watching on YouTube or watching on Facebook. You can buy open stock Murano Glass Paint from our link in the description.
We also do have a kit. So there is a kit,
great.
I believe it comes with 10 colors, and our paintbrushes are really great glass paintbrushes, which is a 5-piece set. So definitely, yeah,
Awesome.
We do have kits. And okay, so let's look at this really quick. There we go. So if you are doing a pink themed party, or you know, a girl's like Galentine's Day, or any kind of like red theme, red and pink, you have your color palette. Or if you wanted to do all blues, we can move these to the side and do a different color palette. Whoops. So if we wanted to do blues, we've got a few different colors here. All right, there we go. There's your centerpiece, there's your shelf, there's your, you know, we're going into summertime, spring and summer, people are hosting dinner parties. This would be beautiful with some really cool, unique fresh flowers, some crazy looking daisies, some really bright colors coming out of these jars. And it's just as simple as grabbing a handful of colors, spending an afternoon coloring them, and then letting them dry.
Dylan, can we show that blue frosted vase on the overhead?
Absolutely. We getting some interest on that?
I personally love that one.
Yeah. So let me talk about this while we're sitting here. So we actually have a clear in our line called Frost. So this is the Frost on its own. So exact same process where you squirt out the paint onto your glass and then tap it to level it. But the cool thing about Frost is it's tintable. So you can take the Frost and you can take other colors that we have in the line, and you can actually tint them to make it different colored. So I have a bunch more colors to show you. So let me switch my stuff around. So these are 3 colors. Well, actually a clear and 2 of the tints. So you can see we've taken our blue and one of our yellows in the line, and we've tinted that Frost and poured it right onto our vase, just like every other project that I'm showing you. So that's a really cool way to get a sea glass look. And the Frost we like to mix with a lot of things. You can also make kind of a faux etching look on its own if you want to stencil with it, or if you want to do any kind of hand lettering. It's really, really cool. But you can see the difference. You can see the sheen difference. And when we say this is Frost, it is matte. Like, it is so matte. And you can tell that the comparison of these transparent stripes and those super matte Frost stripes.
Yeah, the Frost is really cool.
Yeah.
I love Morano because it's one line of paint, but it has so many variations in that line. Like we've talked about the Frost, we've talked about transparent, we've talked about iridescent, opaque, the metallics, and it's all one line of paint.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Here, let's talk a little bit more about those extra formulas, those special formulas. So we were talking a little bit earlier about our gold and silver. So these are the 2 metallic colors in the line. We've got a really beautiful standard silver and a standard gold. And these are really useful whether you're pouring them on their own, or like I showed you earlier, we like to accent with these colors. So it's kind of cool to add some details with the gold. And again, it's super shiny, really smooth, just like the other FolkArt Murano colors, but it has a little more pigment to it. And it's reflective and really beautiful. So we like to use it along with some of the transparents, you know, so you get gold veins. You can see how reflective that is. Really, really beautiful. And this is just one of those poured pieces.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Is there an amber color?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we have one that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yes, transparent amber.
Oh, exactly.
And hang on, I've got a lot of stuff around me. Here's what it looks like. So yeah, really beautiful. Hopefully that's the amber you're looking for. But the color range is really extensive. We have so many different colors in the line. Let's walk through some of the colors while we're overhead. I can show you some more of the bottles. So we have that amber. Let's stay in the warm family for a second. So we've got a transparent yellow, orange. The pinks are really my favorite. So this transparent pink and the transparent red, they're just really beautiful colors. All the colors in the line are great, but these are, if I had to pick my favorite, it would be these two. It's just so beautiful. I don't know. That's just me. Okay, those are the warms, and then of course gold. And then let's talk about some greens and some blues. So we've got a fair amount of colors here. And there's one I want to really talk about, and it's this denim blue color. It's called Perry Purple. And that is one of my favorite colors anytime we make products. But this is just, it's a really pretty, hard to describe. It's a denim color. It's not like a true blue, like where these other blue colors are really like classic blue, you know? You can see the difference there. This is like a royal blue, and this is, it's kind of purpley. It's a little off blue, so it looks a little more home decor to me, if that makes sense. It just looks a little more upscale, even though these are beautiful as well. And honestly, this is the transparent deep blue, and it looks like genuine cobalt blue glass. Like there's no getting around that. This looks like you were shopping in the store and you went to the glass section and just grabbed a perfectly deep blue glass vase off the shelf.
Yeah, and for anybody who missed it, we've got some questions about like how to apply this paint.
Sure.
Dylan did a demonstration earlier
We
that
can
we
talk
can talk
about it again.
Yeah, we can talk about it again.
Okay.
But it's essentially just bottle straight on the surface.
Yep. So this is really simple. We just take a clear glass vase, and you just take your writer tip from your bottle, and you're just going to apply your paint. Really, really simple. And then after you apply your paint, you tap it on a semi-soft surface. I have a piece of foam core board here, so it's really cheap, just 1/4-inch foam core, and I just tap it on that so that, you know, you're not gonna break it if you're tapping it on a wood table, but it just makes it absorb the impact a little better. And that's it. So that paint that I just applied is now perfectly leveled. I have another project over here that we can try, because I know people are probably interested on how to apply this product. Okay, so this is just a stemless wine glass. And let me grab another color. Let's see one of those blues that I was excited about. Okay, we'll do my favorite blue. This is gonna be Perry Purple. So we're talking about FolkArt Murano Glass Paint. And all this is a two-step process. You apply your paint to your glass and you tap it. And then you get a beautifully tinted glass jar or glass, stemless wine glass. We've got a lot here. We'll kind of make this effect. And you know what? Let's pour and swirl. We'll swirl a few different colors so that we get this effect. So if you're just joining us, we're doing a demo of FolkArt Murano. I'm going to show you guys how these products work together. So we've got a green. Let's kind of emulate that exact one. So we'll do, someone said the amber earlier, so we can try that one. You can see how it comes out. And you'll notice that it does appear, you know, a little whiter, you know, when it's wet. It totally clears out when it dries. So it dries to a completely clear, translucent finish that you can see through. This, our studio lighting's kind of flooding it out, but this is completely transparent. I held up my phone light behind one earlier, and we can do that again. But this, it looks like it's kind of milky when you apply it, and then it dries entirely clear. Okay, so we're gonna do these three colors, and normally I would tape this off. I was talking earlier, when you do things that you're gonna be drinking out of or your mouth's gonna be touching, you always wanna leave a lip so that your mouth isn't touching the paint itself. It is non-toxic and water-based, but you just don't want to be be having your mouth on the paint there. So we always leave about an inch lip on whatever we're doing. So it's as simple as we're going to pull our 3 colors out. So we're using Perry Blue, Transparent Green, and Transparent Amber. So those are all 3 transparent colors, but you can use any of the colors. So for the pouring and swirling, this is going to look a little chaotic, but we're just going to put some color on. And this is truly how we get these techniques. Like sometimes, you know, I feel like when you're doing a demo, you're doing a little bit of, you know, TV magic, but this is really how this product works. And it's one of the coolest products we've come out with in a really long time. And it's just fun. It's just really fun. And it's really unique. You know, we haven't seen much of this out there before we brought this to market. So we were really excited when we got the opportunity to bring it to you, because it's something that, you know, hasn't really existed before. And again, this is a water-based, non-toxic paint. It is outdoor safe. It is dishwasher safe, top rack dishwasher safe, and you can do so much with it.
I'm glad you said that, because we had a question that I was going to ask you in a little bit about it being dishwasher safe. But
Yep.
There's your answer, top rack, dishwasher safe.
There you go. Okay, so you can see, look how beautiful that is. So when that dries, all those colors are going to go completely transparent, and you're just going to be left with that fused glass look. And that took less than 3 minutes. And again, I would tape this off if I were doing it for real. I would be a little more careful, but it's really that simple, and it really will dry just like this. You can see we're well on the way, but it will dry perfectly clear and be absolutely beautiful. And you can see, look how shiny that is. The gloss, you can see the reflection of our light on the glass, and you can see the paint is as glossy as the glass, which it's hard to get a shine that great, and you can see how smooth it is. Like, we have formulated this to be one of the best things. Honestly, I'm so impressed with it, because getting paint to level can be really hard when you're talking about products that you're pouring on, because there's a lot of things that go into that. You know, you can have products go on really smooth, and then when they start to dry, they shrink sometimes, or you know, things hold whatever texture that is on them. But this is a perfectly formulated product, and I guarantee if you have a vase that you're wanting to color, it's going to be perfect. You're going to try this as long as you follow the instructions. Clean your glass off, pour your paint on, tap it to smooth it out. It's going to come out exactly like these.
So we've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
And this is a brand new product, so
Yep.
you know, we're trying to make everything as clear as we can for
Sure.
you guys. Can you use multi-surface on the top of FolkArt Murano?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like we've shown earlier, you can also just use more Morano in a different way.
Yeah, we have a limited color range. You know, it's just a black and white in the opaque colors. But yeah, definitely you can use this in tandem with the enamels, with FolkArt multi-surface, anything that you're looking for. Definitely.
And then somebody had a good idea. Will this work with stencils?
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. Yes. And we have brand new stencils. We haven't produced a lot of new stencils in a few years, so we're really excited to bring these back to you. So we've got stamps and stencils that I want to talk to you about, and we have a really cool turntable that you can use for your FolkArt Murano. So let me clean up a little bit. It's getting a little crazy. Put comments in the comment section. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Again, we're talking about brand new FolkArt Murano, which comes in a 2-ounce bottle and is a brand new product on the market. There's nothing like it. It is a water-based, non-toxic glass paint. So this is the coolest product. You basically pour it onto a surface, smooth it out, and then suddenly you have a vase tinted in whatever color you've picked. And it really is that simple, and it works really well. It's a beautiful finish, super glossy, and it's just really fun to use. So if you've never crafted with glass, or if you've seen that trend of tinting jars or vases with Mod Podge and food coloring, this is the product for you, because we love Mod Podge. We love using Mod Podge for that, but you know, that can be a little troublesome. You know, it takes a lot of troubleshooting of figuring out what color you want to make it. And
There's a lot of extra steps to
yeah,
it.
there's just a lot to it. You have to mix it, and then it's not going to be the same every time. But this, you buy a 2-ounce bottle of green, it's always going to be this color, and you're ready to pour right out of the bottle. Okay, so let's go overhead again. and let's talk about our new stamps and stencils. So there are a lot of pieces here, and we came out with some traditional stencils. Now these are adhesive stencils, and this is our two of our alphabet sets. These are brand new. We've got a script design here on the left, and then we have a block letter design. So we kind of cover everything. And you can see the projects that we've used these on here. Look at these stemless wine glasses that we have customized with initials. So really, really great. And we've used the gold. So remember that gold, you can pour with it, but it's also really useful to use as a paint, you know, as a traditional paint that you would stencil with or hand letter with. So there's the block letters. And you get several different varieties in here. Standard stencil pack, you get kind of a larger uppercase and a smaller uppercase. And then you get some numbers and symbols, which is cool. And then you get a true uppercase and a true lowercase in these. And then you get this kind of these wedding extras. You know, not that this set is, you know, wedding specific, but we thought that this script really went well with wedding decor. So that's what we've done on these projects here is, you know, Mr. and Mrs. on this frame that we've poured, and then, you know, a W on those fluted wine glasses. And these are the really, really good stencil that if you've worked with us before, if you've ever had our FolkArt vinyl stencils, these are the same material, and they're great because they're super, super sticky and they're reusable. So when you stick them down onto your project, they form to your surface. So when you're doing something like a wine glass, it's easy to rub it down and get it sealed to your round surface, stencil with the paint, and then peel it off, and then just wash it and reuse it. So the adhesive doesn't wash off, it doesn't pick up a bunch of junk when you're transferring it. As long as you keep them safe and cleaned and put them back onto your backing sheet, you can use them over and over again. They're not just throwaways like a paper stencil would be. So those are those. And those are nice and big. You get 3 pieces in there. Then we have the sets. So we've got stencils and stamps in this set, and these go really well with our FolkArt Murano project. So I'm going to show you a few that we have here that have been done with the stamps. So this is a good example of one of those patterns that we have done. We've done the transparent pour on top of here, and then we did the stencil. So, you know, it's a really, really cool effect here on the vase where we've taken our stamp, which is, we used this one right up here, and you can see it's this very similar pattern to the one that we did on the package here, and you can stencil over your Murano. So we've used the white color, the opaque white, and we've just stenciled over the blue, the transparent deep blue FolkArt Murano color. Now these have coordinating stencils in them as well, which is kind of cool. So let me show you one of these stencils. So this is a piece that we have poured with our beautiful transparent pink, and then we've used this stencil, this guy right here, and all you do is stick that down to your surface. We used our gold, again, that's our favorite color to stencil with, and stenciled this pattern, peeled it off. So this went from a totally clear, kind of crappy vase that we found that was like an extra, you know, floral vase at the thrift store, and poured it with Morano, stenciled it, and now it looks like a really expensive piece of home decor that you'd find at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, one of the decor stores. This would be like 40 or 50 bucks if it were at Target, you know? So that is a really cool way to use the paint, use the stamps and stencils to really upcycle a piece and make it super trendy, make it really upscale, and make really beautiful decor. You know, I think we've been showing you some stuff that's really playful and bright and fun, like this wine glass, but you can also make this product work in a really beautiful high-end way, which would be this home decor. Let me show you another piece here that we've done a similar thing. These kind of go together as a grouping. So this is a really beautiful teal one. Same thing, we've used another stencil from that set and used our gold and stenciled right on top of it. And again, this started as a clear vase that we poured and then stenciled right on top.
So whoever asked the question, will this work well with stencils, the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And they work best with these stencils.
Yeah.
So there's 4 different designs that you get, and they work together, and they also are able to be layered. So if you want to do this half moon pattern, you can stamp the half moon pattern on a glass, and then you can come back with the detailed stamp, the little kind of rainbow arch stamp that on top of these two that you've already done, and then you get something that looks hand painted. So let me show you a good example of that would be this glass. And Stephen, will you actually hand me that pink glass and
Yep.
The blue mason jar glass too? Thank you. Yeah, great. Okay, so you can actually take these stencils, you get a base, and then you get these pieces that fit right over top. So this is an exact match to that stamp. And what we've done is, you can see on this glass, we've just used one of the stamps, but you can easily go over it with multiple colors. So that's the cool thing about these stamps, is we've really thought about how to use them together and make things look more ornate. And this is a really beautiful look. You know, I see a lot of projects like this, or products, at the high-end retail stores like West Elm and World Market. You see this kind of glassware, but you can make it for so inexpensive. We just got these rocks glasses. We painted them with Morano. Again, this is poured. You can see in that section, we just poured directly in the section, which is a kind of cool way to do Morano. If you just want to embellish certain parts of your glassware, you can do that. You can paint it in these sections, and then it'll dry just as beautiful and clear, and then we went over it with one of those stamps. So you can see we took a clear rocks glass and made it into a beautiful, beautiful glass that looks custom made or super high end. And then I'll show you these again from this, from the script set. This is the script stencil set. You can see we poured the jar blue, we did the laurel and the bee from the letter set, and then suddenly you have a customized glass, whether you're doing weddings, or if you're doing a girls trip, or if you are doing a birthday party and you want everybody to have their own glass that has their name on it or their initial. That is how you accomplish that with these great FolkArt Murano stencils. So again, we have some cool designs. We've got some chevrons. We've got some animal print patterns. So it's really great. There's so many different designs that you can do with FolkArt Murano. They're really creative, and we wanted to launch these. They kind of go with FolkArt Murano, but you don't have to just use them with Morano. You can do this on other glassware. If you wanted to make other kinds of projects, you can use these on any surface. You can use them on fabric, glass, wood, ceramic. These work, a stencil and a stamp can work on anything, but we love using them specifically with FolkArt Murano.
So I wanted to answer some more questions about FolkArt Murano. This is different from gallery glass. It's not removable. This is a sustained sort of stain on your glass.
Yeah.
And there is no sealing required.
Yeah. So this is all in one. So when we apply our FolkArt Murano glass paint to our surface, as soon as it cures, this is top rack, dishwasher safe, and permanent. This is not coming off this glass. It is staying like this forever. And you can put this outside if you wanted to put a, if you're doing like a sign or something, or if you have, some vases on your patio. This is a great product for that, because it has been tested and it is safe indoor and outdoor, and you can put it in the dishwasher when you're using it for like glasses, or but we have a lot of different glasses here, or if you've got flower vases and you want to wash your flower vases after you've had some flowers in them. This is perfect.
We just had a question about a glass plate.
Yeah, actually we have that here on one of our product packages. So that's a plate that we've poured with our black and our white, and then we've stenciled with this cool animal print stencil with gold. So
and that's on the bottom of the plate too. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You wouldn't want to eat anywhere that you're going to be eating or your mouth is coming in contact. We want to make sure that you're not actually touching the paint. The paint is water-based and non-toxic, but you just don't want to be, have your mouth resting on the paint. So for this glass, since we poured it on the outside, we left a lip. If you have a plate, you can pour it on the back. Say if you wanted to use it as a charger, it wouldn't really matter if food doesn't touch it, but it's not food safe, so you want to be careful with that. Okay, so let me show you another product that's kind of cool that's come out along with these paints. So we have this cool turntable, and this is something we use a lot. If we want to switch to the front-facing camera, this is something we would use to do our ombre vase here. So this is a turntable. It's got bearings in it. It's really useful for a lot of different crafts. We do so many different surfaces on it. We do flower pots, we do vases, we do, you can do wooden flower pots, anything that you need to be able to move while you're crafting. And we love this brush set as well. You get 5 brushes. This is the glass brush set that we kind of launched with Morano, but you can use this for any glass painting. You get 2 mop brushes, so you get a tiny little baby mop brush and a big fluffy, this is one of our favorite brushes. It's super soft bristles. You'll notice that our normal paint brushes are usually like a gold or a bronze color, the Taklon bristles, but these are white, and these are designed to be super, super fine bristles that when you paint on a glass surface, you're not gonna leave prominent brush strokes. If you were to use a bigger paintbrush that's meant for, you know, acrylic painting, you'd get brush strokes on your project. But you can see on this vase that we've used our big mop brush, you don't really get brush strokes when you're using this because it's just so smooth and so soft. So again, this is our turntable, really great. I think it's 8 inches wide, and you just use it to paint. So this is how we did this ombre vase. So we started out with the light color up here. We applied some of that darker magenta purpley color, and then we went down to our deep blue. And the brush and the turntable was all it took with our FolkArt Murano paint. So don't just think of FolkArt Murano as something that you pour onto a surface. You can actually paint with it with brushes as well. So it's very useful in that way. You know, we've done some detail painting here. When you go to plaidonline.com/Murano Glass Paint, which is linked in the description. You don't have to remember that. You can just click that link. You'll actually see a lot of projects, the ones that you see here, but there's a lot more on Plaid Online that can kind of give you ideas. So if you're curious about this product, we've piqued your interest and you want to see what else you can do with it, it is a great way to see all the other projects by going to Plaid Online and seeing everything you can do with it, because we've done just about everything we think we can do with it. So now it's your turn. We want to see what you can do with it. So since we've got some new people, I want to show you the wow. This is my favorite project that we've done. And this has been done as the drip drop technique that we call it, where we've done the crystal clear. It comes in all these great colors, but it also comes in just a standard crystal clear that comes out milky and dries like glass. So you can't even tell it's on here really. But we did a coat of crystal clear, and then we decided which colors we wanted to use in the crystal clear, and then we swirled it around to create this beautiful picture. So this is one of the most stunning looking pieces that we've done, and this is paint. This is not fused glass. This is not real Murano glass. This is paint. This is FolkArt Murano applied to our surface really simply, and we let it swirl, and then we let it cure. So that is all there was to this picture, and you don't have to have any special tools. You don't have to learn how to blow glass. You don't have to work with toxic products. These are water-based, non-toxic. We have all the tools, all the paint, so many different formulas, everything you need to get painting with FolkArt Murano. So do we have any more questions? Put your questions in the chat.
I think we've got a couple of last-minute people in here
Okay.
who are asking, can it be used like gallery glass? There's subtle differences between this and gallery glass.
Yep.
We did a demo earlier. When this live ends, you can watch it back and see exactly how we do this.
Yeah.
And then I think other than that, oh yeah, we have one here. Can you mix colors to create a custom tint color?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we've done that.
Well, we talked about the frost a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So let's talk about that again. So yes, you could essentially do that with any of our formulas, but this one, if we want to go overhead again, this is our frost formula, so it's meant to look like etched or frosted glass. This is what the paint looks like right out of the bottle, so it's a standard clear frost. But if you want to add some of the Murano paint into it, this is what we've added. We added our blue, and we added, let's see, where was our yellow? And we added some of our yellow, transparent yellow, and that's what we got from those colors. So yes, you can definitely tint any of the colors, but we tend to tint the clear or the frost color. so that we actually get, you know, whatever true color it is. But you could definitely blend these and make your own color. 100%.
I think this is my favorite way to use Murano.
Yeah, it's cool. It just is, it looks like sea glass. It's really saturated, and you don't have to make it this tinted. And again, it starts as a clear base, so you can do anything with it. And again, we do have crystal clear as well. So let me show you just for the sake of it. So talking about our clear products in the line, this is our crystal clear, which I know just looks like a glass vase because that's what it is. It's a vase with crystal clear on it, and then the frost. So you can tell. And then as far as, like, you know, the opaque colors, let me show the opaque white. There's one of the opaque colors. So you can see a little bit of light coming through, a lot of light, and no light at all.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I think that does it for questions.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys. We are going to be coming out with a getting started guide in the next few days here. So stay tuned. We're going to be coming live to you again next week and talking about other new products that we're really excited to launch. And we'll probably have that guide done for you in the next few weeks. So all your questions, bring them into us, comment on this video. We'll make sure that we answer them. And for more information, click that link. You'll see all the products, you'll see projects. We have instructions for every single project. So if you want to make something exactly the way we made it, you're going to find the surface, you're going to find how long it took, you're going to see how to make it, you know, what you need to do to make it. But like I showed you earlier, it's a really simple process where you apply the Murano glass paint, you tap it on a soft surface, and you let it dry. And then you get beautiful, beautiful glasses and beautiful vases just like this, just from applying the paint. So, you know, I want you to think a little bit outside the box. Don't do the Mod Podge and food coloring, although we love it. We just came out with this great product that completely replaces that, so you don't have to do that. Save the Mod Podge for paper crafting and use this FolkArt Murano so that you get a water-based, non-toxic, safe way to do it. You know, you don't have any fumes, and this is going to be permanent. This is not removable like gallery glass. This is permanent on those jars forever, and you'll have a beautiful piece of artwork. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, we will see you next time. Bye, guys.